And now I'd like to also introduce Michael Bruder with the presentation, Engaging Students and Hands-on Learning at a Distance. So with that, I'd like to hand it off to Michael.
Well, hello, everyone. And first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to join me for this. I'm excited to share some cool things that our team has been working on that I hope you will also find helpful in supporting and engaging your students. Give me a second here. I'm going to share my screen. And Manuel, can you just confirm that you can see the slideshow?
Yes, I can see the slideshow.
Perfect. So this is all about engaging students in hands-on learning at a distance, and really a focus on the science and engineering part of STEAM. And it really, as you can tell, with the at a distance part, was born from the challenges that came with distance learning. So before getting into that, I do want to just give you a little bit of background on myself. I have been working here in the Chula Vista Elementary School District for about 15 years. My educational journey started when I was 17 years old at the South Bay Family YMCA. I was a youth leader and a site coordinator at our what was called Kids Connection program back then at a couple different schools in both National School District, National City, and here in Chula Vista. Then the next step in my journey turned into what was called DASH, Dynamic After School Hours here in Chula Vista. That's now part of the YMCA. Back then it was with the city of Chula Vista. And it was a recreation-based program where we learned, a lot about being physically active, team building activities, and my favorite part of it was we had a sports clinic every single month that we got to learn new sports and teach students about them. From there, I moved on to becoming a teacher in our Chula Vista Elementary School District. I had the opportunity to work at Hilltop Elementary School, where I taught fourth grade for 4 years, fifth grade for 5 years, and sixth grade for 1 year. And then about 10 years into that, I thought I was going to be there my whole career. I absolutely loved the school and loved the neighborhood. Matter of fact, my own children go there now. Our district partnered with the Chula Vista Public Library and Qualcomm to create something called the Innovation Station. And this was a field trip experience where students would get to learn about their strengths, interests, and values, engage in hands-on science and engineering, and all kinds of different STEAM activities. So I was fortunate to be our founding teacher at the Innovation Station. And I was there for about 2 years. And then from there, I moved into a different role. First a resource teacher, and then our coordinator of our innovation department, because we had a lot of growth. Our innovation station turned into 4 and then 5 locations within our program. So one thing that I absolutely have to share with you, I could talk for hours about how much I love these programs, but it's always best to hear it from kids. So I wanted to share this video with you about one of our students talking about what exactly these stations are that I'm talking about.
Well, Michael, it was working when we practiced it.
Are we not getting computer audio now?
No, we're not.
Okay, let's try sharing my whole desktop. I shared a window. Last time I shared the desktop, so let's try that one. All right, I have one more thing I think I may have messed with it.
Technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Audio's good, Michael.
Okay, let me rewind that for everyone.
Hi, and welcome to the Chula Vista Elementary School District. There's so many great programs here at CVESD, but one of my favorites is our station experience. Let me tell you all about it. The hands-on learning labs in Chula Vista helps us students.
Looks like audio cut out again, Michael.
Yeah, it did cut out again. So can you open up the direct link from the video and show it through YouTube?
Yes, let me try that now.
Okay.
I'm sorry about this.
Sports medicine, nutrition, and personal wellness. Activities at Energy Station include harnessing the power of renewable energy to solve global challenges. For example, we learn to harness the wind. At the Hydro Station, we solve problems related to water and water efficiency. At our stations, we work in a group to solve a problem using the engineering design process. The teachers at each station also help us reflect and strengthen our problem-solving skills. It's a lot of fun. Because of our community partnerships with organizations like Qualcomm and San Diego Gas and Electric, each station has amazing resources that offer up-to-date technology and relevant curriculum. Each station is located across the community here in Chula Vista. It's nice to get out of the classroom every now and then. There's so many great things about these station experiences, from sharpening our critical thinking skills to hands-on learning. It really helps me and all the students here at CVSD feel prepared for our future. Interested in learning more? Visit our district website.
Hopefully that worked a little better. I see head nods. So, okay, I'm assuming that did work a little bit better. So like I said, I just wanted to give everybody a chance to see, what these programs that we work with look like. And kind of in a nutshell, they're field trip experiences where students are fully immersed for one day in each of these stations. So every student in fourth grade goes to one of these stations for a full day. In fifth grade goes to another one for a full day, in sixth grade, and so on. So we have an amazing team of teachers at these stations, and I wanted to share a little bit about them with you because I think their stories are very relevant to what we're talking about today. And we have one teacher who's at the Living Coast Discovery Center. If you've ever been there, it's formerly known as the Chula Vista Nature Center. A great program. It's been around in our district for about 30 years, engaging kids in hands-on science and exploring there. Our health station focuses on the health sciences, physical education, wellness. We have a physical education resource teacher out there named Rick Ramirez, who has a lot of expertise in the area. And that one's located at the Elite Athlete Training Center. Our hydro station is led by Christy Bystrak, who is a former stretch coordinator herself, in another after-school program here in Chula Vista. That one's located at a desalination plant where students learn about careers in water. The innovation station is led by our teacher named Chris Garcia, another former after-school program teacher as well. We actually all worked together at one point. We just didn't realize it. And then finally, Melissa Hughes at our energy station. And the reason I share, our team members with you is because we all kind of came together, like all of us, and at the beginning of the pandemic, is like, how do we bring hands-on learning to our students at a distance? And before I share with you what we came up with and what we're doing and invite you to join us, I want to invite you to share your thoughts and think back to when you were in school. It could be elementary school, middle school, high school. If you went to a before or after school program yourself, and think about what are activities or projects do you remember most from your time there. So if you're not familiar with Menti, it's another way of sharing your thoughts through a poll type thing. So if you go to menti.com, it'll ask you for this code and you'll just type in that code there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. so that I can give people a minute to see that. And feel free to tell me in the chat or jump on the mic if you're having any issues with Menti. I apologize for the delay here. I'm trying to share my screen so you can see the responses as well. So I'm starting to see things here. Building a pyramid, working with electricity, science experiments, slime, volcanoes, building a mission, learning calligraphy, crafts, sports, building. So as those continue to come in, I do see one theme there across almost every single thing there. And that's that hands-on piece. You got a chance to make something. And reflecting on my own experience, those are the things I remember too, are all the things that I got to make, all the things that I got to build. So that's what we kind of use as our driving factor in what we needed to do to engage our students. How could we give them a way to build or make something? So let me switch back to my presentation here. So what was our problem? We had the same problem that every single person in education faced. How do we engage students in hands-on learning at a distance? And what were the things we knew? The pandemic. We knew students were working remotely. We knew that they would be doing it through technology, through computers. Our district did a great job in assessing how to equitably get those out to students so that they had access to it. And then for our programs, which I think is something similar that faces, before and after school programs, is time. When is the right time to do this? How do we do this without it interfering with the regular school day and complementing it and extending the learning? Those were all things that we faced and had to think about. So with our time together today, I wanted to share with you my intention. My intention is that we'll learn how live online events can be used to engage students in authentic hands-on learning experiences at a distance. And hopefully you leave here being able to utilize these events or create your own to engage students in hands-on learning at a distance, in a hybrid model, in person, whatever it may be. So you've seen all those memes on the different social media, how it started, how it's going. Our team got together and we were trying to brainstorm, okay, how are we going to do this at a distance? Not just for our students that we typically see in our field trip experiences, but how can we do it for all students? And we came up with this idea that we thought was kind of crazy at the time was Innovation Week Live. And we were going to do these live stream activities, and we didn't call them lessons because we wanted it to be interactive. We wanted students to participate somehow. We wanted everybody to build, and we started thinking about all those YouTube videos that kids are interested in watching, whether it's a how-to video, DIY video, unboxing things, and started to think, okay, how can we tap into that? And then we were thinking, okay, so what's the tool we would use? And we saw how our district was utilizing a function of Microsoft Teams called live events for board meetings and things like that. So the next step for us was, what were these components going to be? Well, the first phase of it, and by no means did we have all three of these things down at the very beginning. But when March hit and April, we started talking about how we can make this happen. And the first phase was hands-on learning. We want kids to be able to build. And then thinking through an equity lens, access to materials. We wanted this to reach our whole district of nearly 30,000 students. We knew we couldn't disperse materials at that volume. You know, people were still trying to figure out how to safely do that. And we wanted to make sure it was something every student had access to in their home. So that one of the first ones you'll see there is a robotic hand that we made with cardboard, string, and some tape. And we always give students, you know, an alternative of what they can do. And that actually was one of our most elaborate builds. And as we went through that first innovation week in May of last year, we realized the potential. And we had nearly 500 students sign on and join us for it. And then we started thinking, okay, what's the next step for this? Building background knowledge. How do I tap into what students are learning in science and engineering in their classrooms already, so that when they view this, which is mainly after school, they can make those connections. And it was also, how could we make it interactive? How could we engage students? Like, how could we have kids share ideas in the middle of this live event that we're broadcasting? So with that, we started thinking about moderators, kind of like we have in this room today. And then finally, I shouldn't say finally, because we still are continuing to modify this and grow. Phase 3 was, we want to integrate career exploration. One of the things I hope you caught from those videos is we like to give kids the opportunity to step into certain career roles and see their future selves. So we started thinking about, how can we integrate different careers? Like today, you're taking on the role of a ichthyologist. Today, you're taking on the role of a fitness trainer, and so on. And then finally, we wanted to have fun with this. You know, how can we play a live game? And if any of you are familiar with Kahoot, it's really fun to play live with students, you know, especially when you're in the classroom with them, all the excitement. But we were thinking, you know, it'd also be a great way to have hundreds and hundreds of students participate. So that's kind of where our thinking went from there. So event planning. I'll be honest, it sometimes felt like you were planning a wedding. Sometimes you're planning a huge event, and there's a lot of things that went into it. And we started very rough and continued to build it up. One of the things that we wanted to make sure, and I've learned throughout this process, is that our teachers who are leading these have planning time. You know, whether they're the one leading it on video, or they're the one leading it in the classroom, or it's a materials prep, they need the planning time to do that. We also wanted to practice. We wanted to make sure we had practiced delivering this before it went live. And then identifying roles. In order to have the students really be active, engaged, and sharing ideas, we needed moderators, we needed people to do posts, we needed the presenter, we needed the producer to click buttons and things like that. So the big thing that we always asked each other is, how is this going to be interactive? How is it going to work for all age groups? And one of the things I think our team will tell you is they constantly had me asking, okay, how can they do this at home? How can they do this at home? How can we make sure that they have access to these? So I'm going to share that we use the Microsoft Teams function. You could use YouTube. I'm sure there's other platforms out there, but Teams is what our district had. And we did make sure we wanted to identify roles. It takes someone behind the keyboard to click buttons. and make sure certain screens, certain videos were fed and things like that. So we had one person that does that. That's usually myself. We have moderators. When it was really small, and I told you we had a few hundred at the beginning, we had one moderator who was moderating the chat and also posting things for the presenter. And over time, as it's grown, we now have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 per event. We have had up to 10. We've had a total of 10,000 attendees, and of course, the presenter. You want to make sure it's someone engaging, someone who's excited about what they're doing, and has the content knowledge as well. Communication has been a huge part of it. We're fortunate to have a wonderful communications team, because without them, we wouldn't have, we could have the best set up event, but without our team, our communications team to really get those out, it wouldn't be impossible. So email, that's the first one. We shared out via email. And actually at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share a link with you to, if you're interested in using the live online events that we have every Friday, including the one that you see on this screen, which is tomorrow, I'm going to build an email list that I can include you on that has the link and the flyer. We also put in our district website's event calendar, as you can see right here. We create digital flyers every single week. It gives the link to how to get there. And I mentioned it was in Microsoft Teams. You don't have to have a district account with us. It's open to the public. You can access it on the web. We've had people across the country join us, and including a couple people in Europe and South America as well. But on those digital flyers, we put them on Peach Jar, which is a program our district has for sending out flyers to parents. So that goes out to all of our parents. Emails go out to all of our teaching staff. And at the bottom of that flyer, we make sure to say that we make sure to collect these items. But we try to keep those as short as possible and something that you can find in the home, and offer kids substitutions as well. Like, oh, I have this king tape, but not this one. So we send these out to parents and to teachers every Monday, so that they know they have time by Friday to get all of that ready. Social media is a huge part of that. Our district creates an event on Facebook. We share it on Instagram for parents and families. Twitter is mostly to share with other teachers and other people in education. So I wanted to show you one more video to kind of show you what exactly these live events look like without showing you the hour, the 45-minute long version of it.
School kids got a chance today to take part in an Innovation Live event.
In this Innovate 8 report, photojournalist team.
It was there and then it went away.
Is it not showing again?
It's showing, just the sound is gone again.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Let's try the website.
At University of Phoenix, we understand you can't change your work schedule or his.
So we see your slides, not the video.
Of innovation teachers who
All right, I'm changing my screen right now. Thank you everyone for bearing with the technical difficulties.
typically normally facilitate
You might want to just turn it up a little bit on the sound.
district. And our experience on learning opportunities.
The sound went away again. Sorry.
What we've done over the past year is look at, in this virtual context, how can we bring these activities to our students still, but also.
Someone gave you a note in the chat. It says when you share the screen, check the box to share computer sound on the bottom left corner.
Thank you. I did do that, but it wasn't working. So let's try it one more
It
time.
was working when we tried it out earlier this morning.
I promise to everybody, we tried this about 15 minutes before and it was working beautifully. All right, let me try one last thing here, and if not, we'll just carry on. All right, I am going to try to show you a different part. There's running into some permissions on my computer, so I apologize. Like I said, we did do this a few minutes before, and it was working beautifully.
When you mute yourself, then your sound goes away.
Yeah, I think it's for some reason it's using you're hearing the audio off my computer rather than the computer audio itself.
Right.
All right, is the slideshow back up? Are you able to see the slides now then, at least?
Yes, we can see your
Okay.
full slideshow.
Thank you. So I just kind of wanted to share with you kind of how it's going. Our live events are now weekly, and it was something that started as temporary during the pandemic, and as we get more and more feedback from teachers and parents, it's something that they want us to continue. At this point, we've had 20 different sessions, over 10,000 attendees, and we've had kindergarten through sixth graders join, and including adults. So that's one of the things that we try to plan on, is what's the best way to engage K-6 students, which happens in after school programs, before school programs, and it can be a challenge. So we try to make sure that we kind of scaffold those things in there. So one of the things, and again, this was another video that I wanted to share with you, but it doesn't seem to be working well, is our distance learning support programs that are led by the South Bay YMCA have been utilizing these as well. And I don't know if Patty or Manuel, would be possible. If I share the link with you, could you share it your screen?
Sure, I can go ahead and give that a shot.
Thanks, Manuel.
Mm-hmm.
So let me grab that link.
Learning. Let's hear from our incredible partners at the wine.
All right, so I am trying to drop that in the chat. There we go.
Let me go ahead and pull that up here.
Learning.
Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's see if the audio works.
Let's hear from our incredible partners at the YMCA about how their help has led to more and more students engaging in our virtual sessions.
I think when the whole pandemic started, we were all unfamiliar how to do this virtually. I think we were all a little bit of apprehensive and, not knowledgeable as how we could go and continue these activities with our students. But actually we found that now that we're doing virtual and we're on Zoom and we're participating in the live events, we're able to capture a bigger audience with all of these students at once, which is great. So now they're participating and they're engaging with each other from other students at other sites in the chat box as well, which is great because now they're gaining more friends. They're seeing other schools participate with them. So we found that it's bridging that gap between that collaboration between other schools and sites.
After we started it the first week, I actually reached out to our QPC and said, hey, look what's going on. Look what the district is allowing us to do, or giving us information over on Peachjar, sending out flyers on different activities that they have offered. We started looking at them and noticing that it was something that every distant learning support program could do with the YMCA. So I know I was able to share my experience, share some pictures, and a lot of the other supervisors in our program are really excited to do them on Fridays as well. I think with our students being on the computer all day, I was a little hesitant to try it out, because what I wanted to do is just, once they're done with their learning day, I wanted to just close the computers, put them away, take them outside and do something different. But we still wanted to incorporate that STEM activity into the day. So after they had the work and all their homework and done everything throughout the week, it was not only a really good way for us to build the STEAM into the program, but it was kind of an incentive for us as well, because we would tell them, all right, everything gets done, you get to do the activity on Friday. And ever since that first activity, everybody makes sure that they have everything done by Friday morning so that they can work on the activity Friday afternoon.
If you could stop there, that'd be great.
You know, it takes a lot of
Let me share my screen back again. So that's one of the ways that our team has been using them, from our teachers who are the presenters to our distance learning support program. And then Patty or Manuel, can you confirm that you guys are seeing the whole slide and not just the presenter view?
You're in presenter view, so.
Okay. I had a feeling that happened. There we go. So again, that was just one of the ways that we used it. And I wanted to share with you, and I'll switch my screen in a second. We have put all this content on our YouTube channel. So it's our CVSD Innovation and Instruction YouTube channel, and I'll share that a little bit later as well. But every single event that we have done is recorded on here, and we have a lot of classrooms and programs that will go on afterwards and watch these. They all range from about, I want to say 30 to 50 minutes, depending on the event. And these are accessible to everyone. You could go on there, check one out. I can tell you they kind of fit into 5 different categories. Our Living Coast definitely focuses on science and animals. Our Innovation Station ones will focus on technology and how technology is helping people. Those are the ones with the blue background. The ones you see with the green background are all focused on energy and our energy station. So clean energy and renewable energy resources. Our ones that you see in the light blue are all focused around water. And then the ones that you see in gray are the health and wellness. So you'll see a lot of sports related ones, from touchdown toss, which went with Super Bowl week, to the faster, higher, stronger challenge, and a lot of PE based ones. So again, that content's there. And let me show you what that looks like on our YouTube channel.
Michael just wanted to share out some love in the chat from Melissa. I love seeing the kids actively engaged and great resources. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sports
Melissa.
medicine, nutrition.
And ultimately, that's what we hope these are, is that these are resources that you can use with students and with your programs. So here we go. This is the YouTube channel here. When you go to our channel, if you go under playlist, there's a whole variety. These are our original Innovation Week ones. And if you want to watch those and watch our 2021 ones, you'll see the growth over time. But this full playlist has all the different events that I talked about. If you want to introduce what it means to engage in engineering, there's another playlist here for you. So lots of great content here. There's also these creature close-ups with Mrs. Q, and these are all animals from the Living Coast Discovery Center. So switch back to the slides real quick. So I wanted to, give people some time to reflect about how you could possibly utilize events like these in your programs, and what place it may have to extend the learning from the school day to build in hands-on learning opportunities for kids. So the link there we'll be sharing in the chat right now. And I'd love for everyone to take a couple minutes and share their thoughts. The link there is to a Padlet. If you're not familiar with Padlet, it works like a digital pin uh, bulletin board. And as you share your ideas there, I'll switch to that screen so that you can see those as well.
Michael, there has been a request for your PowerPoint, and I know that it's not in Google. So if there's a way that we can somehow get a link to this to share with the participants, that would be great.
Yes, I'll drop it into on PowerPoint online and then share that link.
Perfect, thank you.
So yeah, go ahead and take some time to think about that and add some ideas for all of us to check out. I'm always a fan of crowdsourcing ideas.
If you'd like, I can go ahead and share the Padlet into on the screen for us.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you. And as people are typing it in, please feel free to jump on the microphone and share some brainstorming with us as well. So it looks like we have one person sharing about critical thinking and having students use their own ideas. I have to say that it warms my heart to see that part about how they can change the future. One of the things that's foundational for a lot of these activities is the engineering design process and how they can imagine different ways that they can change things. Empowerment. I love that, allowing them to understand there's no small task. Everything is necessary. There's so many intricate details that go into inventions and designs and things like that. I have to credit our team. I wish I had access to all of them when I was working in after school programs to lead these activities and to one of the things, and I know that may look different now depending on the pandemic, but because of the materials that we tell kids that they could use for it, a lot of those things could be collected ahead of time. They, individual baggies and things like that. So one of the things we wanted to make sure is there was not a big cost associated with it. It wasn't something that you had to go out and get, especially during the time of the pandemic, especially at the early time as well. And I really appreciate the comment about showing them that there's different careers in which that they can excel in. there's so much research out there that shows students need to hear about and learn about careers at an early age. You know, it's important to continue that work in middle school and high school, but it really needs to happen early. We know that kids actually start to foreclose on certain careers as early as age 6 and think that, you know, that they can't do that particular career. And then for high school, there's a statistic that says 2/3 of 15-year-olds all aspire to the same 10 jobs or the same 10 careers, which if you think down the line there, that means that there's a logjam in those careers. And it shows that the students aren't really aware of all the different markets that are at work with different sectors of careers. And I love what someone just added there is they're capable of so many things. I mean, my favorite part of this is the emails that teachers and parents send us where kids are creating it. And like, I see pictures of little kindergartners and 6th graders and, you know, the relationship building too. Like they've been doing it with grandparents or they've been doing it in their distance learning support programs and all these different things. So you know, that's another thing that we hope that they see they are capable of such amazing things. So at this point, I'm going to go. If you'll please continue to add to that if you would like, but I'm going to just kind of share the last slide here. And I wanted to just take some time to answer any questions that you may have. My contact information is there if you prefer to reach out via email. We showcase a lot of the work that our team is doing on Twitter, so I have my Twitter handle there if you want to check it out. If you would like to be included on our email list to find out about these events, I send out an email every Monday that has the link to it, the digital flyer and a JPEG and a PDF, so that people can turn around and send it via whatever platform they may use to communicate with families, Class Dojo, you know, you name it. So that last link that you see there is a link to another Padlet. I won't share the screen for that. That's just a place if you want us to add to the email list. If you could add your name and email there, I will make sure starting on Monday that you're added to that list when we send that out.